Welcome to Cosmic Compass, where together we explore the mysteries of the universe and the stories of the spacecraft that reveal them. Today, we turn our attention to one of the greatest explorers of the solar system, the Cassini spacecraft. For 20 years, it travelled across billions of kilometres, transforming Saturn from a distant dot in the night sky into a world we could almost touch. It showed us moons, with hidden oceans, storms raging for centuries, and landscapes stranger than anything we could imagine. But like every explorer, Cassini's journey had an ending, a grand finale written in Saturn's skies. In its final days, Cassini performed daring maneuvers and captured breathtaking images, knowing they would be its last. So, let's retrace this story together. Let's see what Cassini saw in its final moments and discover why its legacy still inspires us to look outward, to ask questions, and to keep exploring. For more than a decade, the Cassini spacecraft journeyed around Saturn, sending back discoveries that reshaped our view of the solar system. It was not just a machine. It was an explorer crossing billions of kilometres, uncovering hidden oceans and revealing storms larger than Earth itself. Think about this: in 13 years, Cassini returned over 600 gigabytes of data, enough to inspire more than 4,000 scientific papers. It discovered new moons, showed us that icy worlds may conceal salty oceans beneath their crusts, and even landed a probe on Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Few missions have matched its legacy, but every journey must have an end. Cassini's controllers knew the spacecraft could not last forever, so they planned a daring conclusion, one that would both protect Saturn's moons from contamination and give us an unforgettable final glimpse of this system. Today, let's revisit those last days when Cassini risked everything in a series of bold maneuvers and captured breathtaking images before diving into Saturn's atmosphere. These were the spacecraft's last words to humanity, and they remain some of the most remarkable images ever taken in space. The closing chapter of Cassini's mission was called the Grand Finale. To maximize science, the spacecraft was directed into a new orbit, an elongated path that swung it high over the poles of Saturn and then dove straight through the narrow gap between the planet and its rings. This was dangerous. No spacecraft had ever passed through these regions before, and scientists could only estimate what hazards Cassini might face. But the rewards were immense. Cassini would come closer to Saturn than ever before, allowing us to see the giant planet with unmatched clarity. From this position, it could sample the environment, measure the gravity field, and take images that showed Saturn in ways we had never imagined. For Cassini, there was no turning back. Each orbit brought it closer to the end, and each pass gave us one more gift: Enceladus and the icy plumes. On September 8, 2017, just 1 week before the end, Cassini turned its camera toward Enceladus, the icy moon famous for its mysterious jets. Over 100 geysers erupt through cracks in the surface, spraying water vapor into space. These plumes fall back as snow or drift outward, creating Saturn's delicate E-ring. We'd seen them many times before, but this was Cassini's farewell look. Over 14 hours, it captured a time-lapse that showed these plumes replenishing the ring. Imagine an entire moon shaping part of a planet's ring system right before our eyes. Mosaic of Saturn and its rings. On September 11th, Cassini reached the far side of its orbit and created a spectacular natural colour mosaic. Here we can see Saturn's major rings, DCBA, and the narrow F ring. Across them, the planet casts a short, sharp shadow. Look closely, and you notice Saturn's subtle atmospheric bands, along with the vast hexagonal storm at the North Pole. This was summertime in Saturn's northern hemisphere, so the pole was bathed in sunlight, making the hexagon more striking than ever. One remarkable detail appears when we look at the night side. Even though this hemisphere faced away from the sun, it was not completely dark. Faint light reflected from the rings softly illuminated the planet's clouds. Imagine standing there, Saturn's nights would glow with a pale ring light, unlike anything on Earth. Clouds and shadows. On September 12th, Cassini approached the planet again. Near the terminator, the line dividing day and night, it captured cloud tops casting immense shadows. At first glance, you might think this is a close-up, just a few kilometres across. In truth, the scene spanned more than 5,000 kilometres, large enough to fit Saturn's moon Titan inside. The sense of scale reminds us just how colossal Saturn really is. Even its shadows dwarf entire worlds. Daphnis and the A-ring. On September 13th, Cassini aimed its camera at Daphnis, a tiny shepherd moon inside the A-ring. Despite its small size, Daphnis sculpts waves in the surrounding ring material. Ripples appear both in front of and behind the moon because of orbital dynamics. The inner edge of the ring moves faster than Daphnis, while the outer edge moves slower. The result is a delicate dance of gravity and ice captured one last time. Titan and Enceladus, one last look. That same day, Cassini turned to Titan. For years, this hazy moon had been a prime target. Beneath its thick nitrogen atmosphere lies a world with lakes of liquid methane and a complex climate cycle. Seeing Titan once more was like saying goodbye to an old friend. Cassini then gave us one final glimpse of Enceladus before the moon slipped behind Saturn's limb, disappearing from view. The last chapter was truly beginning. The final image, the very last picture Cassini ever took, showed the region where it would soon plunge into Saturn. The scene was in darkness, lit only by sunlight reflected off the rings. It was a haunting image, one that seemed to foreshadow what was about to happen. On September 15, 2017, the end arrived. By design, Cassini's final orbit would intersect Saturn's atmosphere. Scientists wanted the spacecraft to transmit real-time measurements until the very last second. As Cassini skimmed the upper layers of atmosphere, it was racing at 123,000 kilometers per hour. Thrusters fired to keep the antenna locked on Earth, fighting against the drag that tried to spin the spacecraft out of control. For a brief moment, Cassini was sampling Saturn's atmosphere, directly sending back priceless data. But the resistance grew stronger. The thrusters strained at maximum power. Then, only a minute later, they could no longer hold steady. Cassini began to tumble, and its signal to Earth was cut. Onboard the spacecraft's systems likely attempted to recover gyroscopes, detecting the spin computers, switching to safe mode. But it was already too late. Within moments, frictional heat tore Cassini apart. Its fragments vaporized in Saturn's skies, becoming part of the planet it had studied so faithfully. For us on Earth, the final signal arrived an hour and a half later, delayed by distance. A simple carrier tone, then silence. After 20 years in space, Cassini was gone. The end of Cassini was not the end of discovery. Even today, scientists continue to analyze its treasure trove of data. New findings emerge as we revisit its measurements with fresh techniques. The mission may be over, but the science lives on. Cassini's story also reminds us of what comes next. The Saturn system still calls to us. One of the most exciting upcoming missions is Dragonfly, a drone-like lander bound for Titan. Powered by a nuclear battery, it will fly across Titan's surface, sampling different regions, searching for the chemistry that may hint at life. In this way, Cassini's legacy continues. Its discoveries paved the way for the missions of the future. It showed us oceans beneath ice, methane lakes beneath hazy skies, and storms that rage endlessly around a giant world. And it gave us one final gift, a breathtaking farewell that we can still see and remember today. As we reflect on Cassini's journey, it's worth remembering how it stayed connected with Earth. Across the solar system, communication relied on the deep space network, vast radio antennas spread around our planet to ensure a constant link. Without it, none of these images or discoveries would ever have reached us. Just as Cassini's data needed protection and a secure path home, our own digital lives need the same, whether it's private information or something as simple as what you watch online. Security matters. Beyond that, what Cassini truly left us is perspective. It showed us that even the cold, distant worlds of our solar system are alive with activity moons, with oceans, planets, with storms, mysteries that inspire us to keep exploring. And so, as we say farewell to Cassini, we also look forward. The cosmos is vast, and there will always be more to discover. Until next time, let's keep our eyes on the stars. As we close this journey, let's take a moment to reflect. Cassini is gone, its metal and circuits now part of Saturn's atmosphere, but its spirit endures. The data it returned continues to fuel discoveries, and its images still remind us that the universe is alive with beauty and mystery. The legacy of Cassini is not just about Saturn, it is about curiosity, perseverance, and the human drive to explore. And with missions like Dragonfly on the horizon, the story of Saturn is far from over. Thank you for joining us on this voyage through Cassini's final moments. If you enjoyed exploring with us, consider subscribing to Cosmic Compass so we can continue this journey together. Until next time, let's keep our eyes on the stars.